Hello and welcome to this webinar about Team Cohesion Score, um, the TCS in short. Um, I am David Haché. I'm a co-founder of 9Cube, um, and 9Cube is a business practice which has as aim to foster team cohesion in organizations. So this means that we build uh, frameworks and programs in order for teams to look in the same direction, to work together in harmony, to face danger as one, very important, and to co-create their future. So that's our purpose as an organization. I have founded this business practice with my partner Catherine Malcher, and we are really a complementary team of founders. Since we have a background of our own that allows us to really um, really well address all the dimensions of what teams can encounter in large or small organizations. Um, so as you can witness, we have a trajectory that can create some sometimes friction and sometimes alignment, and that is what makes us partnership really rich and allows this partnership to deliver value to our customers. So why team cohesion in the first place? Because we sincerely believe and truly believe that if team is cohesive, then a lot of things will go well for the organization. Among others, we have identified a few dimensions that are the first layer, just immediately after team cohesion is really built and permanent within a team. It translates into different types of pillars, the 9 pillars that we identified, which are feedback culture, the open communication, the motivation of people, the accountability of people, the atmosphere that exists in the organization, the loyalty and belonging feeling that people can experience, the trust and collaboration and collective intelligence. Those are really key pillars that are related and linked to the team cohesion in the first place. And then if you go a little bit further in the expansion of those different experiences that people can live inside of them, then you go to a second layer, which is obviously the benefits for the organization of strong team cohesion, which is an organization in which the information flows flawlessly, where engagement is really key and observed, where team performances are experienced and probably would be translated into organizations' results, where the company reputation is increased. So that means that more people are attracted by the organization, and then you can also attract and retain those people when they join your organization, and you also have where there's cohesion, there's helping each other, which is more there, and living through the different organizations floors and levels, and then it facilitates the onboarding of employees, and then you have also a well-being at work that is converted uh, um, and obviously experienced within the organization, and this leads also in some cases to real innovation because people feel at ease and they feel free to to uh, develop their own projects sometimes. So um, as a HR expert or team leader, it is important probably for you to be able to measure if your team is in a good position, in a good quadrant in terms of team cohesion, and hence the fact that we've developed this team cohesion score, which is a very simple but not simplistic indicator for the business that you could use on your own. you're not obliged to work with us to implement that into your organization. So it's a completely open source, if you like, and it's based on strong and thorough literature regarding the team cohesion itself. Um, so we have thought that a scale such as the NPS, which is really very well admitted as being a key indicator in organizations when you speak about um, recommendability of the organization or of a product. So it can be used in marketing, but it can also be used in HR with the ENPS, Employee Net Promoter Score. And so the methodology or the toolbox is really similar. It's a very simple question, followed by a second question. So basically, it helps this team cohesion score helps to validate the perception, to objectivize probably subjective experiences. It is also a really great way to uncover or identify where emergencies or immediate action is needed, and on which strengths also the team is is actually. Um, the KPI itself, so it's expressed in percentage. The KPI itself can be correlated to those pillars that we've mentioned just earlier. So how do you measure that TCS or team cohesion score? Basically, you follow the same methodology as the NPS. So you start with a, a first question, um, a simple rating question, which is to what extent are you in tune with your team? So as a person, where do you locate yourself in terms of harmony with your team? So in tune, are you in tune? We use specifically the word in tune, which is correlated to music because a team works like a symphony. A symphony is really enjoyable or delivers emotions and delivers joy or whatever emotions you're looking for if all the instruments are in tune. If there is one instrument that is not in tune, it creates disharmony. And this is the metaphor to express the fact that a team needs to work like an orchestra. Everybody has to play its part and or her part, and then it creates that sentiment or that satisfaction for each and every one within the orchestra. So this scale is basically separated into three different subgroups. When you answer a certain figure to this question, you are or a dissonant member of the team or a toneless, which means that it can go one way or another in terms of how do you perceive yourself in being in tune with your team, and the harmonious, which are the ones that are really feeling or expressing the fact that they are uh, good and feel good in the team. Then with the results, because the first question being this rating scale, the second question being an open field question where people can express with verbatim their feeling, their emotional sentiment or mental sentiment, rational sentiment. Then we have the results, and the results delivers us with a score, the TCS, which can be located on a -100 to a +100 scale. Um, and we have created those four quadrants where you have from the left a failing team, which would have a TCS from -50 to -100, or a team that would be identified as being at risk with a TCS between 0 and -50%, a dormant team, which would be between 0% and 50%, and then a performing team, which would be between 50% and 100%. And obviously, when you look at the results team by team, there are some actions or takeaways that you can immediately grasp and make use of in order to improve the performance of those teams. And so, for instance, in a failing situation, you have to take strong decision. You have to accept to let go people. You have to build back the team from the ground up. Sometimes, like when there was a disaster, and then you have to identify the consciousness level of negative consequences. So it's really a tough situation to be in. When you are at risk, you have to build or rebuild trust, and then you have to work on a strong shared vision. And sometimes this is a tough exercise to make, but needed most of the time. In the case of a dormant team, you have to shape team cohesion to go further. So it's kind of something that you need to work on in order to make it grow to the next level. Um, and in the dormant team situation, you may still notice that there are a few mistakes that appears here and there, and so you need to be really cautious and attentive to what's going on, and then you have to probably be more in a coaching position as a team leader to create that motivation and to boost that motivation on a daily basis. In the case of a performing team, uh, it's not that it will last forever. So you have to maintain that team culture. You have to make sure that it can be transmitted to the newcomers, or and to deal with the ones that are leaving or changing position in the organization. So you have to build that kind of a persona of that team personality, and then you have to. It's suggested that you reinforce everything that works well, and to make sure that it can stay and to be maintained over time, and probably you should transfer that specific winning situation, if I may say so, to translate it and to make it more perceivable, or you know shareable within the organization, so that other department or the teams can take inspiration from your situation. So basically, with one simple uh, setup, which is asking a question to your team members anonymously, plus explaining why they gave that score to the the first question, then you can already grasp and catch a lot of insights that are useful for the business. And so I will share with you a few examples of how it look on the nine pillar quad chart, for in this case a performing team. So a performing team is, as we have seen, is between 50 and 100% TCS. In this case, 57%. And you see here that there are some glues, so elements that people express themselves personally. They really type it in, and say quotes and mentions um, that are positive. In this case, on the level of open communication, motivation, collaboration, accountability, belonging, and loyalty. So we are able to identify with the open field that all these dimensions of all these pillars, those five pillars, are clearly mentioned really by the people. So they type it in, they express it openly. In terms of the other pillars, collective intelligence, sense of purpose, feedback culture, and trust, um, there's no mention of it, spontaneous mention. So we keep it neutral with this orange color. But there are some repellents, some negative items that are expressed, or verbatims that are expressed, and then we can clearly pick those up and see where they lie in the global quadrant. But in this case, it's not like it has an impact on the cohesion team itself, by the way we interpret the results. A dormant team in this case with a TCS of 10%, you see that the glues are more there, and the repellents are in bigger numbers, and you see that we can identify that there are some issues on the level of trust, on feedback, and belonging and loyalty feeling. So these are the probably the three different elements on which we will have to work on fairly rapidly after the survey has been conducted. In the case of a risk at risk team, you can see that there's no positive items in the glues, and there are more repellent elements in the general and the global results. And the TCS is minus 13%. So it's four dimensions or four pillars you have to work on immediately, probably. In the case of a failing team, I'm not showing it here because sometimes the verbatims are really like harsh to read, and it's better not to share that. But basically, it's a alarm sign, and it's clearly a moment where, yeah, um, it's immediate action needed and big crisis management. Yeah. Uh, you can sort of understand if you've experienced that the PowerPoint visualization of that is not what is needed at that time, and it's more like taking action and harsh actions sometimes that can take place. And that is something that the team leader has to take on his shoulder or her shoulder to make it happen. So these were examples from real concrete cases, obviously, but that we cannot disclose the origin from. Um, so how to conduct I would say a TCS project. Basically, this is the way we do it. Obviously, as I said and mentioned in the beginning, it's an open source method. So you're not totally not obliged to follow this flow, but we recommend that. And this is our way of setting up a TCS project. We have a preparation phase, a capture phase, a recommendation phase, and then an action phase. The preparation is really straightforward. We have a discussion, we build a form, we communicate to the different stakeholders, then we launch the initiative within the organization, then we analyze the results, and then we support or we advise and we coach the team leader or the people in charge in order to take the next step in terms of action. And it can be concrete to do for the next day, or can be the outcome can be a building of a plan of over a few months is in order to few months sorry in order to recreate that team cohesion. So we have these kind of output as 9Cube as a business practice. We come up after the recommendation with different types of, of opportunities to develop the team cohesion or develop the leadership skills of the leaders or develop the sense of what is my type of leadership, or if there is a boardroom or multiple managers or multiple team leaders. I would say that leading division or leading team, we can work on those dimensions. We use for that a toolbox that we've developed. I mentioned obviously the team cohesion score, the TCS, but we also have the team map that we work with. We make use of the Enneagram and the MBTI as personality types model to really identify what are the drivers, the dynamics of the team in terms of personality, in terms of motivation, in terms of behavior. And then we have our training programs and opportunities. We have a few partners we work with. We have certifications in ATCA or in in Enneagram and in BTI, in coaching, and then we work with organizations and business centers in order to convey the good word about building better or fostering team cohesion across organizations. Um, here are a few quotes from customers who are quite happy about the use they could or the outcome they could extract from TCS survey, so that it really helped them in terms of identify items that are really needed to be taken action upon, or that really even in cases of great team cohesion, but it allows also new elements to rise and to step up in the team in order to make sure that they can move forward. As I said, in terms of a performing team, there are some key elements to take lessons from and then to maintain them over time, like reinforcements. Um, I hope this was useful for you in terms of content and deliverable. You can reach out to us, Catherine or myself, if you want or wish to build a TCS project, or if you need more information regarding the TCS itself and the way to work with it. There's plenty of content on our website. And without further ado, I wish you a great day, and I hope to meet you soon in person. You will see below this video buttons where you can book a moment with us to discuss your project regarding your team and its cohesion. I hope to see you soon and to meet you soon, and wish you a great day.